Knitting Daily has been sponsored in part by
We're getting to know our fibers today, and I'm here with Deb Robson, who in addition to being an author and a fiber craftsperson, is also a spinner, which gives her a really thorough understanding of how we get from here to here, the backstory behind yarn.
Yeah, I love fibers, and I love taking them from the point when they're gathered to finished products, all the way through the process. And this is a wool that was recently shorn, and it has all sorts of stuff in it. It's got lanolin, it's got swint, which is basically sheep sweat. It's got dirt, it's got bits of grass.
And this is really just basically right off
That's straight off the sheep. That's straight off the sheep. I have the rest of the fleece over here, but this is a segment of it. And it holds together. It's really interesting. You can see where it was shorn. And it needs to be cleaned and then processed, either combed or carded and spun to get the yarn that we want to use, because this is, you can smell it. I happen to like the smell, but I don't want it on my clothes. You know, by the time I'm done, I want it to smell sweet. So basically, cleaning off all of the extra stuff, and there may be chemicals that the sheep was treated with and stuff like that. So anyway, it starts off pretty raw.
And it's amazing, the intermediary step, just the difference and this has just been washed.
This is just, I washed this 2 days ago in my bathtub. And what comes out is the true color, the luster, and it smells great.
All these things that were kind of hidden in the rough
exactly.
And then this is it.
That's a quick bit of yarn that I just spun up as a demo. You know, this is the same stuff. And there can be some surprises when you get a fleece and wash it. For example, a lot of spinners will buy wool and think they've got a nice brown, and they wash it, and that they discover it's either white or gray, which is gorgeous, but it may surprise them. So to see what's truly inside what you've got in the way of a raw fiber, you need to take it through the process.
So tell me what you do to actually wash it.
Okay, I do this a lot at home. I do it in my bathtub. I take a bowl like this. I actually set a colander inside, one that fits. I put in warm water and a squirt of scouring fluid, and then I set the fiber on the fluid, and I press it down, but I don't agitate it because you can felt things. If you've got the right scouring stuff, it should simply dissolve the dirt without you doing anything. Mostly I leave it alone.
And what makes it, I mean, what's the action that's happening there?
Okay, it's actually a chemical reaction, and so you want something that's gentle, ecologically sensible, but that is very powerful, but won't damage the fiber. So that's hard. That's a hard combination to get.
So that's what you're looking for in a
good
scouring fluid.
Yeah. I used to use dishwashing fluid. I used to use shampoo. There are lots of reasons not to use them. Among them, they suds too much. You use too much. They don't do as good a job. And they sometimes leave a residue on the fiber, which I don't want there. Simply soaking it, look at all that stuff.
That's amazing. I mean, this is so dramatic.
Yeah. And this is what your final rinse should look like. You know, so you're starting to see the true fiber.
So really, just all that dirt, all that gunk is just dissolving out?
Just dissolving out, yep. And it settles to the bottom. I lift out my colander, and the water stays in there with the dirt. And then I've got my fiber. It's gentle. I mean, I'm not felting it. Then I dump that, and then put in rinse water, and then put this in again.
It's a pretty straightforward way to do it.
It's very straightforward. It's so easy to do. People are afraid of washing wool, and there's no reason. You just got to be really gentle with it, and that does the job. My setup, I love it.
So what's in a good scouring fluid?
I don't actually know. I do know that the stuff that I use is biodegradable and does this job without damaging the fiber at all. We've got mohair over here, which is very easily damaged in washing. If you raise the temperature over 140 degrees, you can start to make it brittle. It'll yellow, and it'll lose its luster. I mean, look at this gorgeous stuff. I mean, it'd be crime to do that to it. So you need something that will clean it very thoroughly. Also, mohair, it's very, very hard to get the grease off. And you want, for the fiber's sake, to keep the temperature low. But the way to get grease off is to raise it. If you have the right scouring fluid, you can get it clean without raising the temperature.
And then once you've drained off the dirty water, the rinse water is just clear water?
Clear water, yeah. You try to keep the temperature the same. Okay. And with a good scouring...
to prevent felting?
Yeah. With a good scouring fluid, you can, I just use plain tap water. It's my hot tap water, but I don't have to up the temperature at all, which my hands are happy about too.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just amazing the difference going from raw mohair to the same yarn.
This mohair is this yarn, which was knitted into this fantastic shawl. Jackie Erickson Schweitzer did this from that. Isn't that wonderful?
The difference is just amazing.
Yeah. It's like magic to me.
And just one last question. I mean, would you ever use like a rinse product on your wool?
Sometimes, yeah. There are some rinses that work really well to reduce static and also possibly to keep the dirt from sticking.
Okay. So something for every different use case.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much, Deb.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.